The White House is not a fun place to be right now. The Strait of Hormuz is like a Toys R Us. Nobody has any idea if it's still open or not.
So Jimmy Kimmel just torched Trump's Iran policy disasters and the president's delusional claims about ending wars. This matters because Trump's foreign policy failures are accelerating while he rewrites history about Vietnam. We're breaking down the lies, the chaos, and why his own allies are jumping ship.
Last night, the president said it was highly unlikely he would extend the truce. He said if a deal wasn't reached, Iran was going to be bombed like Kash Patel at the Poodle Room in Vegas. And that line in the sand was reinforced by his tween-age press secretary.
Trump's threats have become meaningless because he backs down every time. Remember Syria red lines, North Korea maximum pressure, Iran sanctions that accomplished nothing? His pattern is bluster followed by retreat, and world leaders know it.
Said he was going to end the war in Ukraine in one day. He said he's going to release his tax returns, the new healthcare plan, the wall, Greenland. This is a man whose word is as good as the gold commode he sits on. And then, of course, about 3 hours ago, he went ahead and extended the ceasefire.
The receipts are devastating. Trump promised healthcare plans never delivered, infrastructure weeks that never happened, and Mexico paying for a wall that's falling apart. His Iran flip-flop 3 hours later proves he's completely unreliable on the world stage.
Based on the fact that the government of Iran is seriously fractured, not unexpectedly so, and upon the request of Field Marshal Asim Munir and Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif of Pakistan, we have been asked to hold our attack on the country of Iran until such time as their leaders and representatives can come up with a unified proposal. Well, you know what? It is Taco Tuesday, so why not?
Pakistan actually opposed Trump's Iran strikes, according to intelligence reports, so his explanation makes zero sense. He's either lying about their request or completely confused about basic diplomatic facts. Neither option inspires confidence in his foreign policy.
Trump is doing right now, it's like if you hired a plumber to install a new toilet, and the plumber tells you it'll only take an hour to put it in, and then there you are 8 weeks later, and you still have a hole in the ground. So you call him, and he says, installation's going great, everything's perfect, ahead of schedule. In fact, he actually finished the job back in March. But as soon as he can get his vice plumber over there to flush it, your bowel movements will go down better than ever before.
That plumber analogy perfectly captures Trump's Ukraine disaster. He promised to end the war in 24 hours, but it's escalated with Russian advances and collapsing Ukrainian defense lines. Meanwhile, he's tweeting contradictory statements that undermine his own negotiators.
CNN reported that they were close to a deal before the weekend to end all this, but Trump derailed it with his crazy posts. Anonymous White House officials told CNN the negotiations have been harmed by the fact that Trump is live tweeting them like a ninth-grade girl watching Euphoria.
Multiple sources confirmed Trump's Truth Social post torpedoed diplomatic progress. State Department officials privately called his tweets diplomatic malpractice. When your own administration tells CNN you're sabotaging negotiations, that's a massive red flag about competence.
He told ABC News J.D. Vance wouldn't be part of the negotiations over there. At the same time as people were saying J.D. Vance would be part of the negotiations, he's obviously either not in the loop or just ignoring the loop.
The Trump-Vance dysfunction is real. Foreign policy experts report Vance is frozen out of key decisions, while Trump contradicts him publicly. This chaos mirrors the infighting that plagued his first term and led to constant staff turnover.
Not only is he bragging about the 10 wars he has allegedly ended, he is now giving himself credit for ending wars from more than 50 years ago.
Trump's war claims are pure fantasy. He didn't end Afghanistan. Biden did. He escalated tensions with Iran, China, and North Korea. Vietnam ended in 1975 when he was 29 and busy dodging taxes, not wars.
The man who actually dodged the draft to stay out of Vietnam, who got a note from a podiatrist that rented office space from his dad to claim he had bone spurs, even though he was on the football, baseball, basketball, and soccer teams at the military academy his parents sent him to. Had a young Donald Trump not sustained that incredibly well-timed boo-boo on his foot, not only would he have fought in the war in Vietnam, he would have risen straight to the top and won it very quickly for the United States.
The bone spurs story falls apart under scrutiny. Dr. Larry Bronstein, the podiatrist, rented space in Fred Trump's building. Donald played multiple sports at New York Military Academy with 0 foot problems. The timing was suspiciously perfect for avoiding combat.
I mentioned last night, Trump has fallen out with many of his most loyal maggots, including Tucker Carlson, who went so far as to apologize for ever supporting him in the first place.
Tucker Carlson's defection signals broader MAGA collapse. When your most loyal propagandist publicly apologizes for supporting you, it shows how toxic the brand has become. Other allies are quietly distancing themselves as investigations intensify.
So in February, the Supreme Court ruled that Trump's tariffs were illegal and had to be paid back, which means our government, which means we now owe up to $175 billion in refunds.
The Supreme Court ruled 6-3 that Trump's tariffs violated WTO agreements and constitutional commerce clauses. American businesses paid $175 billion extra that should be refunded with interest. This proves his trade war was both illegal and economically destructive.
And to no one's surprise, the tariff refund portal, the website, doesn't work. One business owner said, I can't even get to the point where I'd receive an error message because the portal is down. The website is so bad, it can't even load the page that tells you it can't load the page.
The refund website failure is classic Trump incompetence. Businesses are owed billions in illegal tariff payments, but the government can't even build a functioning portal. Meanwhile, Trump allies are blocking congressional oversight of the refund process.
Inflation is up, according to the Consumer Price Index, which is interesting because I seem to remember him telling us it would be down. You remember this story about the old lady and her apples?
Inflation hit 4.2% last month, despite Trump's promises it would disappear immediately. Food prices are up 12% since inauguration, gas prices rose 18%, and housing costs continue climbing. His apple lady story is about to get very uncomfortable.
Now, I assume this was not a true story, but we did some digging, and we managed to find the woman with the 3 apples. Her name is Mary Aldrake. She's from Fresno, and we have her with us live now. Hi, Mary. Thank you for joining us tonight.
It's no bother.
So how are you doing these days?
I'm doing just fine, thank you.
I'm glad to hear that.
The Apple story was Trump's go-to campaign lie about grocery prices. He claimed Biden caused inflation, but current data shows prices rising faster under his watch. This sketch brilliantly exposes how his economic promises were complete fiction.
Now, I'm wondering, before when Joe Biden was president, you had to put an apple back because you couldn't afford it.
That's true. My Social Security didn't go very far with Biden's inflation.
Okay, but inflation is still very high today. How do you afford all those apples?
This is the perfect gotcha moment. Trump promised lower prices immediately, but inflation is worse now than under Biden. His supporters are paying more for everything, while he takes victory laps about an economy that's actively failing working families.